My name is Luke Heller, and I am from Ride to End Rape, which is an idea I had last fall after bicycling across the country coast to coast in the summer of 2010. And at the end of that trip, it was a 3-month journey. I couldn't wait to come home just to be back home with my community and the things that mattered to me. But as soon as I got home, I started planning my next trip. So I decided, how am I going to make this bigger than me? You know, how am I going to make this next trip about something other than just Luke? And so I decided to make Ride to End Rape, which it's a benefit for the nonprofit Rape Crisis Intervention and Prevention Center in my home of Asheville, North Carolina.
Talk about the route that you're taking a little bit.
So the route I'm taking, well, I had to go to my sister's wedding. So I started where I live in Asheville, and I rode up the Blue Ridge Parkway, which is one of the most challenging routes, probably one of the most challenging routes I've been on because of the lack of services. It's just, you go a long way with nothing. And it's just up and down all day. It's gorgeous. And then I rode from there into DC, and then kind of zigzagged my way up to New York City, and then back out to Pennsylvania for my sister's wedding. And from there I caught a ride from the honeymooners. I helped them pack their car and I helped them drive. They were on their way out to honeymoon at the Grand Canyon and do some mountain biking out there in Moab as well. And so they dropped me in Denver, and I'm riding from Denver to Park City, where I am right now, and then to Salt Lake, and then to Jackson, Wyoming, and then up to Missoula, and then to Glacier National Park, and then probably out to Seattle and then Portland. And then I think I'll kind of scurry down through the Sierra Nevadas and to Sacramento to San Francisco, and then from San Francisco ride down the coast, all the way down to San Diego. And I did the coast last summer from all the way down from Seattle to San Francisco, so I decided not to do it again. But who knows, I might change all that between now and then. I'm not bound to anything.
I mean, you may have kind of touched on it, but why do a bike trip again? You did it once. What made you want to do it again?
I don't know. I think you can't, if you have to ask that question, you know, you wouldn't understand, I guess, you know. And, I had such a blast, you know. I loved it, just a sense of adventure, and I nothing like being on my bike all day and going from one place to the next. I absolutely love it. It's just a great way to spend your time traveling. So,
what do you think you've learned from your bike trips, whether this one or the previous year? What's some, like, maybe the number one thing you've learned?
That we give humanity too little credit. Because
explain.
People tell me you need to bring a gun. You know, I don't, for one, I mean, I wouldn't fight violence with violence anyway, but I mean, I just, people bring you in and take care of you. You know, I've had so many situations where the goodness of people just shined, and when I was helpless in one way or another. You know, in Nebraska, in Pennsylvania, in Montana, I mean, just all over the country. So,
and but you think people respond positively to you on the bike?
Absolutely. Absolutely. People are always very interested in what you're doing when you're on a bike, it seems like, because they look at you and you got all this stuff, you know. And one thing, you know, on this particular ride, on the side of my bike, on what I call the car side, if you're driving by me, the car side, you'll see I have kind of these handmade banners I made that say ridetoendrape.com, and some people will kind of stare, and then if I catch them staring, they'll look away because they don't want to engage, because that, you know, that cause that I have, they don't want to talk about that, you know. And other people are drawn to that, but I think without that cause, because that cause specifically, people want to tiptoe around. They don't want to talk about rape or sexual violence. But without that kind of thing, if you're just a loaded bicycle tourist, you're kind of a spectacle, you know?
Yeah.
And they want to look at you and say, where the heck are you coming from? Where are you going to? You know?
Right.
You crazy, you know? Because we are a little crazy.
Yeah. We were talking about this earlier, but do you think that the cause helps you on your trip? Do you think that it helps you keep you stay motivated? You know, and do you think you could do the trip without a cause?
Right. You know, my first trip, I didn't need a cause. I just wanted to ride. Mm-hmm. And like I said earlier to you, I don't think that I may not be sitting here right now if I didn't have this cause. As much as I love bicycle touring, for me, it was just it's something to ride to. Mm-hmm. And you know, I could probably do this trip without a cause. I just have to find some other things to ride to. Mm-hmm. And I think that is just essential to me. Just on Monday, I was told, "Hey, are you going to go to Salt Lake City?" I said, "I don't know." "Well, we need you to go." And so I said, "Well, I guess I'll be there. I can make it, no problem." You know, and it gave me every bit of motivation I needed to do those 331 miles in 3 days, mm-hmm. which seemed, you know, unbearably impossible through the wind that I just rode through, you know. But with that purpose of riding to it, you know, I had no problem. It didn't matter if I was riding after the sun went down, I was going to be there.
Right.
So.
What advice would you give to somebody that's planning their own trip by bike, and you know, what advice would you give them?
I would recommend for people to find things along the way to motivate them. That's how I planned my first tour. I didn't follow any suggested routes. I just looked at a map and I said, I want to go there, 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 and there. And I always had something to look forward to. And people also always told me that you should ride. They told me I was riding the wrong way, east to west. And that may be so, but I still got there last summer, and I'm riding east to west a great deal this summer as well, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And however you make it work, as long as you have the willingness to do it, you know, you can make it work. And I don't think that bicycle touring is really out of reach for anybody. I think that anybody who has the desire, you know, and the time and the willingness to make it happen can do it. No matter how, you know, how physically fit you are, you can do 30 miles in a day, and that's okay. You know, so if you want to do it, you know, only person that's stopping you is you.
Good.